I was locked up with one of Diddy's security guards, Big Bombs. Word. That was Diddy, like, man. That was my man. That's my man till this day. Named Bonds. That's my dude.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
We could hardly believe our own ears when Tony Yayo's voice first cut through the static, sending shockwaves across the hip-hop world. One of 50 Cent's closest confidants, sitting just a breath away from the G-Unit epicenter, had finally decided to lift the velvet curtain on a secret that's long haunted backroom conversations. That 50 Cent's white-hot disdain for Rick Ross isn't just about turf, records, or clashing egos. It's about an alleged, deeply personal relationship between Ross and none other than Diddy himself. For years, we'd watched the chessboard move with 50 Cent and Ross firing shots at each other over everything from record sales to who's the bigger boss, but nothing ever prepared us for this. According to Yayo, the iceberg beneath all this beef is a story so taboo, so raw, that Ross's humiliation is almost palpable, as if every meme and troll post from 50 suddenly comes with an added layer of venom.
Ross and 50, right? Ross is not, they got a beef because 50 didn't say what up to him. That's just a New York thing.
Right.
One of the awards. I wasn't there, but that's how it sparred.
Right.
Ain't say what's up to me. Because down south, y'all have more of a...
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Bring you an apple pie to your crib. From New York is looking right straight right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Poison in that shit.
As Yayo spoke, painting 50 Cent as the ruthless puppet master and Rick Ross as a pawn who never saw the trap until it was too late, we couldn't help but feel the temperature in the room shift. The language was surgical, each jab meant to cut deep, every word calculated to drag Ross's most private moments into public view. For Ross, it's one thing to take a shot about album sales or Miami mansions, but quite another to have whispers of a special bond. And frankly, the whispers of deep harmony and with Diddy broadcast to the world by a man who once stood shoulder to shoulder with 50. You can almost sense the collective intake of breath across the industry as this confession lands. Suddenly, it's not just another round of social media sniping. It's a total exposure of the kind that leaves reputations in ruins and Instagram comment sections flooded with sharks. Ross, the man who built his brand on bravado, is left naked in a storm of innuendo, while 50 Cent looks on, grinning like the cat that not only ate the canary, but wired up the whole coop with security cameras. The humiliation for Ross isn't theoretical either. Just last week, we watched as 50 Cent clowned Ross and Meek Mill's joint album for its low first-week numbers. 31,000 and change, a figure fifth gleefully plastered online with the kind of derision usually reserved for failed reality stars. Ross, never one to keep his mouth shut, fired back by jabbing at 50's relationships, even dragging Cuban Link and Meek's Dream Chasers label into the fray. But while Ross was busy tossing insults and allegations, the real blood was being drawn elsewhere. With Yayo's interview making the rounds, it became painfully clear that the real game is being played above Ross's head. The message is simple. 50 Cent doesn't just want to out-rap Ross, he wants to annihilate his image from the inside out.
One of the allegations was that Diddy had sex with a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Immediately, people identified the rapper as Meek Mill.
And that brings us to the name hovering over this whole saga like a dark cloud, Diddy. Sean Combs, the mogul, once synonymous with luxury and after-parties, now dragged through more legal mud than a Beverly Hills divorce court. Diddy's freak-off gatherings, once legendary, now infamous, are back under the microscope, and the question on everyone's lips is suddenly impossible to ignore. What exactly went on behind the blackout curtains at those all-night bacchanal? And more pointedly, where does Rick Ross fit in this mess? The government isn't chasing Diddy for tax evasion or some gentle mismanagement. We're talking about an active criminal trial. Charges involving elaborate, days-long performances in which both male and female participants were reportedly supplied with everything they'd need to keep them compliant. When FBI agents raided his homes in LA and Miami, they reportedly found 1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil, the kind of detail that turns a tabloid rumor into a headline nobody can unsee. This is where things get so twisted that even industry veterans are privately admitting we haven't seen anything like this since the East Coast-West Coast wars. Because, according to insiders, managers, assistants, hangers-on who say they saw things they can't unsee, Rick Ross was not just a party guest. Rumor has it he was something more. A regular fixture at Diddy's notorious events with a seat at the main table. While the official line from Ross' camp is always one of deniability, he's still getting money, he's not bothered, he's just too rich to care. The reality is, every whisper, every meme, every sauce emoji is a nail in the coffin of his carefully curated boss image. No one's laughing about first week sales anymore. They're whispering about who was in the footage, who signed the NDA, and who might have something even darker to hide.
Same kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France, Diddy said, you don't do a freak off, I'm going to release one of the freak off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate you.
The question, though, is why 50 Cent is pushing all his chips into this particular pot. Is it just about humiliating an old rival? Or is there something more? Because it's not lost on anyone that 50 Cent is quietly shopping around a documentary on Diddy's alleged crimes, boasting about already landing a deal with Netflix. And in the middle of all this, another rumor slips out. There may be tapes, actual recordings of those infamous parties, and Rick Ross might just be in them, caught up in the hurricane that could bring down a generation of hip-hop royalty. Yayo didn't confirm it directly, of course. He's too smart for that, or maybe too scared. But the implication was heavy enough to hang in the air like gunpowder. Could this be the ultimate weapon in 50 Cent's arsenal? He asked, his voice just a touch too casual. And how far will he go to use it? Meanwhile, Diddy's camp is locked down tighter than Fort Knox. No statements, no Instagram live rants, just the click of expensive legal briefcases and the churn of a scandal machine that's still spinning out new lawsuits, fresh accusers, and rumors so salacious that most blogs won't even print them without a lawyer's blessing. The word is, more than one witness has been threatened with reputational destruction if they talk. Because if there really are tapes, and if Ross appears in even a single frame, we're talking about a nuclear option that could erase entire careers overnight. That's not just speculation. That's how the modern music industry works. One good leak, one grainy clip, and suddenly last year's beef over album sales looks like playground bickering.
They once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been down. Diddy really...
And just to add a cherry on top, 50 Cent's relentless attacks aren't slowing down. After every headline about Diddy's legal woes, he's there with another taunt, another meme, another reminder that in this game, he's always one step ahead. Some say he's obsessed, but the smarter observers see strategy. A man who's weaponized gossip into a billion-dollar enterprise, who's been plotting this takedown for over a decade. The old insults about Officer Ricky or Miami real estate seem quaint now, almost nostalgic. We're in a new era, one where blackmail, secret footage, and whispers of scandal are more valuable than a diss track. And at the very heart of it, Rick Ross is left with the ultimate humiliation. He's not even fighting 50 Cent directly anymore. He's fighting the shadows cast by men richer and colder than he ever imagined.
He had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So what's wild is as Ross tries to claw back with his own insults, dragging 50's ex-girlfriend Cuban link and swiping at his G-Unit legacy, none of it lands like it used to. Maybe it's because the audience has grown numb, or maybe it's because when the stakes are this high, nobody cares about a clever Instagram video. All anyone wants to know now is whether those tapes exist, who's in them, and when, if ever, they'll see the light of day. Is this just another round of celebrity beef, or are we about to witness the implosion of some of hip-hop's most untouchable names? As Yayo's words keep ricocheting through the blogs and podcasts, it's starting to look like the answer might be buried somewhere in those lost hours at Diddy's freak-off parties, where the only rule was that nothing was off limits and everyone left with secrets they'd spend a lifetime trying to forget. The stakes are so much higher than a couple of viral posts or a few savage jokes, because right in the middle of this all-out war, Rick Ross isn't just licking wounds, he's making his own power play. The Welcome Home concert for Big Meech wasn't just another party in Miami, it was a middle finger aimed squarely at 50 Cent's empire. There's no way that timing was an accident. We saw the posts, the shoutouts, the veiled smirks as Ross wrapped himself around Meech for all the world to see. It felt almost like an announcement. Ross has his own alliances now, and he's not afraid to throw them in 50's face, considering how 50 Cent has built a second career out of the BMF series, an entire hit show, and streaming cash cow based on Big Meech's legend. It's almost poetic that Meech and Ross would pose for that infamous photo, smiling like the cat who just raided the fridge while 50's back was turned.
I think he said that, right? He said it pushed him down some steps.
Right.
But sometimes I'll be like, 50, you on a whole nother level where you don't have to respond.
You don't have to respond to everything.
To certain people or
Right.
say certain things, like Meech or Little Meech,
Right.
or Ross or Dave Blunt's, because these guys are not doing what you're doing. They're not going on tour. They can't even, some of these guys can't even, let's keep it real, can't make it to these markets.
This wasn't just about friendship or celebration, it was a message, loud and clear. He took a picture with Rick Ross. Ross taunted in one video, mocking 50's outrage and making sure the world caught the punchline. Then, as if to twist the knife, 50 Cent responded with an Instagram post featuring a rat and the line, "I think I'm big, meek," drawing a not-so-subtle line between loyalty and betrayal. But while the memes made everyone laugh, it's the subtext that had industry insiders reaching for their stress balls. A former BMF affiliate told us this wasn't just a meet and greet. It was calculated. Meek knows where the headlines go, and Ross knows exactly how to grab them. The rumors swirl. Did Meek's camp invite Ross specifically to snub 50 Cent? Are we witnessing a shift in the balance of power? With Ross building his own coalition, hoping to chip away at the throne 50 built out of grudges and hit singles? If that's the play, Ross isn't doing it alone. We can't ignore the ghost looming over every move, Diddy. There's something almost supernatural about how Diddy remains at the center of this storm, refusing to say a word while everyone else is screaming. He hasn't jumped in with a denial, hasn't tried to clear his name. He's just silent, letting the speculation do his dirty work. It's classic Diddy. When things get nuclear, he disappears behind a wall of lawyers and whispered warnings. But the silence has teeth. Is Diddy keeping quiet because he doesn't want to make things worse? Or is he pulling strings behind the scenes, setting up Ross as his own weapon in a proxy war against 50? Multiple sources close to Bad Boy's inner circle have whispered about late-night strategy calls, Diddy allegedly advising Ross on how to flip public opinion and neutralize 50's relentless trolling. Some industry veterans insist this is a classic Diddy move. Stay invisible while the chaos unfolds, then swoop in for the final act.
The judge right now is going through a number of different reasons. Again, very quick reporting indicates that the judge is citing to the defense attorney's own statements during the case that Sean Combs is a violent person, has had violent personal relationships. But of course, the defense said that doesn't mean he's guilty of racketeering. It looks like the judge is now using those statements to say he should be denied bail.
What makes this even more ominous is the way rumors are now pointing in both directions. If 50 Cent has tapes that could bury Diddy and Ross, it's only fair to wonder what skeletons Ross and Diddy might have waiting to drop on 50. We've heard whispers, the kind that make even seasoned publicists blanch. Rumors of sealed affidavits, sealed court filings, NDAs, signed in dimly lit studios after parties nobody will talk about on the record. There's talk of Diddy's team working overtime, scouring social feeds, tracking down anyone who ever carried a Jew unit backstage pass. Are Ross and Diddy building their own arsenal of receipts? One industry manager told us, the only thing more dangerous than a tape in 50's vault is the idea that Diddy's got tapes of his own, maybe with 50 doing things nobody's supposed to see. If that's true, and right now nobody is willing to bet against it, then we're not just looking at a rap beef. We're staring down a mutually assured destruction scenario where nobody leaves the battlefield with their brand intact. It all comes back to trust, or the total absence of it. The old alliances once forged in after parties, record deals, and staged Instagram reunions are now nothing but ammunition. Ross thinks he's playing the long game, leveraging his relationship with Big Meech, hoping that aligning himself with the BMF name will grant him untouchable status. But every move he makes only deepens the paranoia. 50 Cent, ever the chess master, knows the value of anticipation. He's been teasing his Netflix documentary on Diddy, promising the full story with a sly grin and a 1,000-yard stare. Every new Diddy lawsuit, every fresh accusation is one more headline for 50 to weaponize. But here's the twist. With so many open secrets bubbling up, Diddy's alleged freak-off parties, the mounting lawsuits, the allegations involving everyone from rising artists to business partners, no one can say who will be left standing when the last tape rolls.
Although interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic.
And let's not pretend this feud is limited to the three men at the center. The collateral damage is spreading. Cuban Link, 50's girlfriend, finds herself dragged into the mess, accused of Dream Chaser's loyalty. Meek Mill tries to sidestep the crossfire by playing the independent artist card, bragging about owning his masters, but even he gets sucked in as Ross uses every available talking point to strike back at 50. It's turned into a relay of insults and power plays. Ross offers 50 Cent a truce, but only if he comes begging for movie funding. Another dig at 50's supposed financial struggles. 50 responds by laughing off the offer and doubling down on his mockery, using every slip, every setback, every rumored fight or financial hiccup to add to his legend as hip-hop's most relentless troll. Meanwhile, Diddy's media partners are bailing, Hulu shelves his reality show, and even his alma mater wants nothing to do with him. The empire is wobbling, but the man at the top refuses to blink.
I think sometimes Meek falls victim to, I have to explain myself because they be playing with my name.
Yeah.
And the more he responds, the more they keep playing with his name.
Still, there's a sense of something brewing, something bigger than even these three. Diddy's legal troubles keep stacking up. Charges of racketeering, forced labor, allegations of violence and coercion, freak-off sessions described in court documents with more detail than a tabloid could ever dream. Prosecutors claim witnesses are being intimidated, digital evidence is being hunted down, NDAs are everywhere. More than one lawyer has hinted that we haven't even begun to see the big names that might go down if the wrong footage leaks. In this atmosphere, it's not hard to imagine that Ross and Diddy might try to hit back with their own bombshell, something designed to drag 50 Cent into the legal mud and level the playing field once and for all. It's become a war of attrition, a chess game played with lives and reputations as pawns. Every DM, every backstage handshake, every unguarded moment from the past 2 decades could be weaponized. Industry insiders are nervously texting each other, trying to figure out which alliance is safest, whose secrets are most likely to stay buried. What's certain is that nobody is safe anymore. The old playbook is shredded, and every move is a gamble. As Diddy's silence grows heavier, Ross's bravado starts to sound almost desperate, and 50 Cent's smirk looks more like a dare than a joke. The tension in the industry is palpable. Nobody's making peace, not while there's still so much to lose.
The government essentially said that Sean Combs led a criminal enterprise for his desires, that he tried to cover up crimes, that he was the leader of this criminal enterprise, and that he committed at least, obviously, at least 2 that they believe of these elements that are part of the racketeering conspiracy.
With every passing day, this isn't just about beef. It's about legacy, empire, the very idea of who gets to be remembered as the king of the game. We have to wonder, is this the last gasp of hip-hop's old guard, desperately clinging to their thrones as the next generation watches, or is it the beginning of an entirely new era? One where loyalty is meaningless, and your friends are just future witnesses. What happens when the secrets finally spill out? Who stands tall and who gets swept away by a scandal too big to contain?
A little crazy to be successful.
Right.
And that's what 50 is. 50's really crazy. He'll say I'm crazy, but he's crazy.
So what do you think? Will Ross and Diddy really drop a nuke on 50 Cent's reputation, or is 50 still holding all the cards behind the scenes? Is this the end of one dynasty or the birth of something even more explosive? Let us know what you think in the comments, because trust us, this story is only getting started. Thanks for watching. Keep your receipts handy, and until next time, don't blink. You might miss the next scandal.